Hi friends, today we're going to do my less than 10-minute writing exercise that will improve your writing by expanding your vocabulary. I've selected 3 words for us to play around with our writing. We're going to use each one of these words in a sentence so we can better understand them by putting them into context. I will give you general definitions, but I've also included links below to Merriam-Webster's website where you can find the formal definitions and pronunciations. I have also included my sample sentences below. Today's 3 words I've selected are brouhaha, obligation, and criteria. Brouhaha, obligation, and criteria. All right, we're going to first use brouhaha in a sentence and see what we can come up with. And brouhaha is a noun, a word that represents a person, place, or a thing, and it means an uproar. All right, let's see what we can come up with for brouhaha. The children hurried to look out the front window to see what the brouhaha was all about. The children hurried to look out the front window to see what the brouhaha was all about. And here is brouhaha, meaning an uproar. So these children hurried to look out the front window of their home or whatever, unless they're at their grandma's house or whatever, but they're looking out the front window of some house to see what all the noise, the uproar was all about. Maybe there's other kids out there making a lot of noise. Maybe there's a car accident. It could be whatever, but there's some sort of uproar that's happening outside that's causing these children to come and look. Anyway, that is brouhaha. All right, let's move on to obligation and use obligation in a sentence. An obligation is also a noun, a word that represents a person, place, or a thing, and it means a debt imposed by one's conscience or external forces. Okay, let's see what we can come up with. He felt an obligation to help his younger sister pass her entrance exam. All right. He felt an obligation to help his younger sister pass her entrance exam. Okay, here is obligation. So he felt this debt that he needed to repay, or he felt a need that he has to help his younger sister. In this case, it's imposed by his own personal conscience that he wants to help his younger sister. Obligations can take on many different forms. If you were called to go to some, court, then of course you've got some legal obligation to go someplace. There's different forms for obligation, but in this case, it's more of a personal one. He's imposed on himself this need to help his younger sister. That is obligation. Let's move on to criteria. And criteria is a noun, a word that represents a person, place, or a thing, and it means a standard. Okay. And by the way, criteria is really the plural form of criterion. However, criteria, the plural form, has been used more frequently as a singular or plural type of usage. So you can look that up in the dictionary and take from it what you will. But I know here in the United States, we use criteria. We don't really say criterion that much, even though that's the proper singular form. We would just say criteria, even if we're referring to only a single thing that we're referencing. All right, let's use criteria in a sentence. And again, criteria means a standard. Okay, let's see what we come up with. The new couple struggled to agree on the qualities they wanted for a new home as their criteria never seemed to match. All right, the new couple struggled to agree on the qualities they wanted for a new home as their criteria never seemed to match. Here is criteria. So basically, you have this young couple. They're trying to agree on what they would like in their new home. Maybe maybe they want a large backyard. Maybe they want to make sure there's so many bedrooms and so many bathrooms, all those little details that they're struggling with. And all those qualities in a home, they each have a personal criteria of what they think this new home should be like. That is criteria. A standard for what they're envisioning for their new home. And with this new couple, both of them are not agreeing on their standard for what this house should be. Anyway, that is criteria. Okay, 3 wonderful, very interesting words. Brouhaha, which is kind of a fun sounding word. Obligation and criteria. If you're unfamiliar with these words, play around with them in a sentence or two. Make them part of you so they're accessible to you when you write. If you enjoyed this writing exercise, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and happy writing.